What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Eric here. Glad to be back. In the last episode, we managed to get our paint booth up, managed to get our fairings installed. So today's main goal is to get the fairings prepped for paint. First thing we're going to be doing, we're going to go ahead and leave the fairings on the bike, and we're going to start getting rid of these lines right here on the fairings. It's starting to get dark on us, but that's not that big a deal. There's not too many lines that need to be cleaned up on the bike, just a few. We'll do some body work, Bondo, etc. So it shouldn't be too bad. And then once we get done prepping the body work, we'll go ahead and use the 2x4s. We'll make some stands for said body work to go in the paint booth. So let's get to work. Check this out, you guys. So we went ahead, and even though we started prepping one of the fairing pieces, went ahead and made the stands for the fairings themselves. And as you can see, it's quite bright in here. I think it'll be just fine. I mean, you can't really see too well on the inner side if you're painting, but I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. Overall, I'm pretty happy with it. Pretty simple little stands. So it's getting late on me. So tomorrow morning, first thing, I'm gonna get up, start prepping all these panels so we can get some primer on them. You know, after the primer, we'll get them sanded down, throw some base coat on these jokers. So till tomorrow. What's going on, guys? It's the next day. Unfortunately, the day got away from me, but that's okay. So first thing when you start getting going on is when you start taking these panels outside, sanding on them. Once we get done sanding, cleaning up all the edges that we want to clean up, we'll throw some body fill in there. This one piece right here is pretty nasty. It's all chipping about, but that's not too bad. So after we get it all body filler done, dried up, sanded some more, throw a first coat of primer on there. So let's hurry up, get these panels sanded down so we get the body filler in there. Get it dried out, sand it down some more. So let's get to work. Alright, you guys, so we managed to get all the fairings prepped for some primer. Got everything sanded down. Everything's looking really good. Everything is ready to go. Went ahead and set up the fans. We got one inlet, one exhaust. Got the lights working. There's a storm coming. No big deal. Hopefully it doesn't kill our power. So next thing we need to do, go ahead and get our primer and a paint gun out. Start priming these panels. So let's get to it. Alright guys, check it out. We got all the panels primed in. They look pretty good. Things are actually starting to take shape. It's really bright in here, so it's kind of hard to tell a contrast because of the white primer. But overall, things don't look too bad. A few imperfections here and there. Nothing crazy big that I'm terribly worried about. I don't see any runs or anything of that nature. I think overall it looks pretty good for primer. The fans seem to be working quite well. That's already getting clogged up after spraying the primer. As you can see, I didn't wet the floors, so they're pretty dusty. No big deal there. So the next thing we're gonna do, we'll get the tack cloth. This has been drying for the last couple hours. Get the tack cloth, clean them off, and then start spraying our white base coat. So I got a 2-stage white base coat. I'm not gonna film the first stage. The second stage has the metallic in it. I'll film that. And then after that, we'll probably shoot the gray and then the black after that. So let's get back to it. What's going on, guys? Check this out. We managed to get our fairings painted white and pearl. So I'm going to take these out in the sun so you can see better. But we did a base coat of white and then a nice pearl on top of that. And that'll be our base coat before we start using some gray and blacks in here. One thing that unfortunately got me was when I was doing the tack cloth between coats, it was actually leaving small pieces. So like here you can see a little bit, well maybe not so much. But it was hard to see, so when I would lay down the base coat of white, I'd use a tack cloth, clean it up, and it would leave little specks of tack cloth that I didn't even realize until after I started painting again. So unfortunately, it happens. What can you do? I'm definitely going to be more stickler when I paint the RX-8. But anybody that's rode a bike on the track before, for whatever reason, whenever you freshly paint a bike, it's like the bike and the track are magnets. I don't know why. Scientists can't explain it. So I'm not overwhelmingly worried about anything that might have gotten the paint from the tack cloth initially. It's looking pretty nice for the most part. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these fairings outside. I'm actually going to put them on the bike. And then I'm going to start taping the bike off for the next layer of paint that I'm going to throw on the bike. I just want to make sure everything gets lined up. And you'll be able to see the pearl out in the sunlight too. So let's get these fairings outside on the bike. Let's get to it. Alright guys, we finally managed to get our fairings masked off. What an absolute nightmare. We started using some paper, but that was more of a pain than it was worth, so I just went ahead and used masking tape and masked everything off. Now there's not a whole lot to paint. I'm about to use some gray metallic, but should be a quick one here. So I got a storm rolling in, and I'm trying to hurry up before that gets here. So let's mix some paint. Let's get to painting. check it out, you guys. So we got the fairings painted the metallic gray. However, I realized that I completely forgot to paint this bit right here. So I went ahead and put the fairings on the bike. I need to go ahead and start masking it off for some black we're going to be painting on the bike. And then once we get the black painted, I'll go back and I'll respray the front. I'll respray the upper fairing so I can get the metallic gray on that. So for the time being, the next thing you're going to see is me painting some black on this bike. So until then, I'm going to start masking this bike off and get ready to paint. Let's get back to it. What's going on, guys? Eric here. It's the next day. So I stayed up last night. I finished working on the fairings, went ahead and removed all the masking off of everything, and I repainted the upper part here since I forgot to paint that. But overall, I think she's looking pretty good. I do need to work on some of my masking skills, that's for sure. There's definitely spots where it kind of bled in. But I mean, overall, for a kind of backyard paint job, if you will, I think she's come out pretty good. So today we're going to get some clear coat on these fairings, and we're going to be done painting them until, you know, they decide to meet the pavement. But it should go pretty quickly. It's just clear coat, and it's crazy windy outside, so apologies if you hear any wind noise today. Let's get to mixing some clear coat and get to spraying. Let's get to it. Alright guys, check this out. We finished up doing the clear coat on the bike. She looks pretty good. I was hoping to take her outside so you guys could have a look at her in the sun, but a storm's rolling in. She looks pretty shiny for what she is. I really can't complain. I think overall it's pretty good looking. Alright guys, that's it for this video. We managed to get the FZ-07 painted. It looks pretty decent for what it is. You know, we managed to do a primer, 2 base coats of white with a good bit of pearl in it. We did a gray metallic, and we finished it off with a black metallic. And then we clear coated, I don't know, almost 4 or 5 coats of clear just because I had it. So it looks pretty good. The next thing we need to do, I need to order a seat still. Still waiting on Andy to send back the ECU so I can install that. I still need to get stainless steel brake lines so we can install those. A couple minor things. We need to finish installing the rear brake. We need to reroute the cables for the throttle. And then pretty much be done after that, ready for a track day. Unfortunately, a storm rolled in. I was hoping to get this outside so you guys can see it underneath the sun because it is gleaming, if you will. It looks pretty good for what it is. I'm really happy with it. I still need to throw some decals, etc. on the bike to finish it off, bring it all together. But overall, I'm really happy with it. If you like what you see, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Throw any recommendations or comments you have down below for the old FZ-07. As always, thanks for watching.